ONDC is being touted as the next big thing in India, with thousands of videos doing the rounds on the internet saying it will be the end of Zomato, Swiggy, Amazon, Flipkart, Myntra, and whatnot. Some have even gone on to compare its revolutionary stature to that of UPI, saying it will do to e-commerce in India what UPI did to digital payments. But behind these bold claims lie fundamental challenges in the implementation as well as adoption of ONDC as a platform. So what exactly is ONDC? And what were the motives and goals of the government behind starting this initiative? While there are claims across the internet that ONDC is delivering everything at a cheaper price, how true are these claims? And what are the challenges that ONDC will need to overcome to really be a success in India? We are going to answer all of these questions in this video today. So let's begin. To understand this, we need to learn what exactly is ONDC and how it works. If you already know this, you can skip to the next chapter. Open Network for Digital Commerce, or ONDC, is an initiative aiming at creating a transparent and direct platform for the sale of goods and services online. A not-for-profit initiative, it aims to connect buyers directly with sellers, eliminating the middleman. Now remember here that it is not an app. There will be no app called ONDC. It is similar to UPI, where UPI is a platform that is offered by multiple apps like PhonePe, GPay and Paytm. So here is how ONDC will work. There will be two sides, the buyer side and the merchant side. So if Mr. Gopal wants to purchase something, he will log into an app like Paytm or PhonePe. Then he will search for the product that he wants to buy. Let's say that is wheat. ONDC will then populate a list of sellers in the buyer's locality selling wheat, and then show that list to Mr. Gopal. Now this aspect is extremely crucial here, that the delivery is hyperlocal only, meaning the results will only be populated based on Mr. Gopal's location in a fixed radius around him. Suppose Mr. Gopal decides to purchase the wheat from Gupta Kirana store. He will be able to add the wheat to his cart and check out, similar to Amazon or Zomato. This is where the buyer side kicks in. Once Mr. Gopal places the order, Mr. Gupta, the owner of the Gupta Kirana store, will receive a notification. He will then confirm the order and select from one of the available courier options like Dunzo. Once he completes this step, a Dunzo delivery executive will be assigned who will pick up and deliver the order to Mr. Gopal. And that completes the sales cycle. Now all the infrastructure that we just discussed on the buyer side as well as the seller side will be maintained and provided by ONDC. So ONDC will basically be a platform connecting buyers like Mr. Gopal, sellers like Mr. Gupta and merchants like Dunzo. Now you might say that this is exactly what Swiggy is doing for restaurants and Amazon is doing for sellers. So what is the need for ONDC? Well, ONDC aims to solve the three major problems that people face because of these monopolizing platforms. The first is the commission charged by them. All platforms like Swiggy and Flipkart charge heavy fee to the sellers for every sale, which varies from 25 to 35%. But ONDC brings game-changing fees of just 5% to 8%, which means a lot of money saved for the buyers as well as the sellers. The second is the deep discounting by these large sellers. Sellers with high volumes procure huge quantities of products at massive discounts, then sell them to customers at discounted prices. Prices that micro and small sellers and business owners cannot match. The third is anti-competitive practices using sales data. Amazon obviously tracks all of the sales that are happening on its platform. Using this data, Amazon recognizes items that are selling a lot and eventually introduces a knockoff under its own brand name. Again, using their sales volume to get these products at extremely cheap prices from China and selling them under their own brand in India like Solimo or Symbol. They have also been accused of rigging search results to show Amazon brand products over other brands. This closes out entire market segments to small sellers and business owners, as they definitely cannot match the prices of these Amazon brand products, which are further promoted on Amazon through ads. Swiggy and Zomato had attempted to do a similar thing by gathering data about what food items sold the most, establishing their own cloud kitchens to sell those food items, and then showing customized ads to their users based on their history and behaviors, cutting out the restaurants out of the chain entirely. So with the introduction of ONDC, sellers no longer have to pay high commissions. They are saved from the deeply discounted prices of large businesses and they don't have to face the anti-competitive practices of these businesses. So ONDC is effectively a death sentence for platforms like Zomato, Swiggy, Amazon and Flipkart, and it is only a matter of time before these platforms go bankrupt. Or is this really the truth? You see, while ONDC is definitely an excellent initiative by the government, and I personally really hope that it goes on to solve all of these problems. In its current form, ONDC has a lot of drawbacks that, unless solved, will stop it from serving the purpose that it intends to serve. The first problem is adoption of the network. Before UPI entered the Indian market, making payments was a genuine problem. The acceptance of credit cards and debit cards was limited to larger stores, so you did not have any other option than to pay in cash. You had to carry the cash everywhere, which you could easily lose. Moreover, coming up with change was also a problem. If you were buying something for Rs 172 and you gave the shopkeeper a 500 rupee note, the process of getting your change back took at least 10 to 15 seconds, sometimes even more. And in some cases, you could often not buy something at all from your nearby Kirana store because the denomination was too big or he did not have any change. Then came UPI and suddenly you could make payments in literally 3 seconds, and the problem of carrying cash and looking for change was suddenly gone. This is not the case with ONDC. People are happy with the services provided by Amazon and Zomato, and placing an order can take as low as 10 seconds with features such as one-click purchase by Amazon. This is not the case with ONDC. It is an entirely new platform, and since there is no inherent advantage that it provides over existing applications, it will be difficult to get people to switch to ONDC. Remember that brands like Flipkart and Swiggy have literally spent billions of dollars in advertising to get new customers. Now, some people are arguing that the prices for food delivery on ONDC are cheaper, which can encourage adaptability. But that comes at a cost, with many people saying that the services are not as good. In one example, a person said that an order from a restaurant that usually arrives in less than 30 minutes took 1 hour 30 minutes. It was 30% cheaper, but it was also cold and late. The second is customer support. Since ONDC is just a platform connecting buyers to sellers, it is still unclear who will be responsible for customer support. On Swiggy, if you get your order wrong, you literally get a full refund and get to keep the order as well. It is this trust that these brands have built by providing excellent customer support year after year. Issues like wrong shipments, poor quality products, and counterfeit items can easily plague the platform. In fact, the lack of counterfeiting check mechanisms is extremely worrying, because while you can take a bet on a 200 rupees pizza, you can definitely not trust a random supplier for higher value goods like mobile phones and electrical appliances. Here too, ONDC has said that it plans to set up a dispute redressal mechanism. But in this case, ONDC will not take ownership of the problem. It will just establish a mode of communication between the buyers and sellers, and this can severely affect the quality of customer support on ONDC. The third is discoverability. As I mentioned earlier, brands like Amazon and Swiggy spend millions of dollars every year on marketing alone. This means that they are responsible for a large part of the sales cycle, which means that you end up buying a product even if you did not plan on purchasing it in the first place. As a platform, ONDC is not likely to be spending anything on marketing or advertising. Recall here that the adoption of UPI was driven by apps like PhonePe, GPay and Paytm, who took the onus of marketing upon them. UPI itself did little to no marketing. Now you could argue here that platforms where ONDC will work like Paytm and PhonePe will take it upon themselves to promote the service like they did with UPI. But then it will defeat the purpose of decentralization, as then ONDC itself will become monopolized by a handful of platforms, similar to what happened with UPI, where GPay, PhonePe and Paytm process 94% of the total UPI transactions in India. Coming back to the marketing problem. If a restaurant is listed on both ONDC and Zomato, it is much more likely for him to get more orders from Zomato than ONDC, simply because Zomato will bring more eyeballs to his restaurant. Next, ONDC in its current form is hyper-local only. Amazon proudly calls itself the everything store because you can literally find anything on Amazon irrespective of where you are located. But ONDC is currently a hyperlocal only platform, which means you can buy only those products that are locally available near you. But what if I want to order a set of dumbbells to my home and there is no seller near me that is selling those dumbbells on ONDC? Naturally, I will end up buying from Amazon. Moreover, this problem also exists on the seller side, as a seller's listing on Amazon is being shown to potential customers across India, whereas ONDC will only be showing it in a radius of a few kilometers. Now, ONDC has said that it plans to bring players like Amazon, Flipkart and Meesho under the network as well. And this will result in the platform going pan-India once again. But then, once again, it will eventually mean that these three platforms will start dominating the network and suppressing the micro and small sellers. Back to square one. And finally, while ONDC certainly has made ordering food from your nearest restaurant cheaper, the same cannot be said for other products. Sellers on Amazon and Flipkart will continue to offer deep discounting due to their high selling volumes, due to which products will be cheaper on Amazon and Flipkart than at your nearest shop. So while I see some success for ONDC in the food delivery business, how it will manage to tackle the other verticals is still a big question mark according to me. While these challenges definitely are daunting, it is important to note here that ONDC is still in its beta stage and it can eventually solve these problems in the future. I am really eager to see how the platform evolves in the coming months, and it will be interesting to see how Swiggy, Zomato, Amazon, Flipkart and others react to this unexpected turn in the Indian market. And I'm really eager to see and hear your opinions and possible solutions to the challenges that ONDC faces right now. And I hope you liked this video. Please hit the like and subscribe buttons below to make sure this video reaches more viewers like you. Let me know in the comments which story you want me to cover next. Until then, goodbye.